Welcome to the Duo Dialogues on YouTube. Today's discussion is all about mastering polite conversation in English. We're diving into the nuances of expressing gratitude, agreement, and disagreement.
It's a crucial skill, yeah, especially in today's interconnected world. So many misunderstandings stem from poorly phrased responses.
Exactly. Think about it. A simple thanks can be conveyed in countless ways, each with a slightly different tone, right?
And disagreeing politely, that's an art form in itself. It's about expressing your opinion without causing offense.
We'll explore phrases that go beyond the basics, helping you navigate conversations with confidence and grace. Let's start with expressing gratitude. We covered no problem last time, but what about more sophisticated options?
You're very welcome is a classic, but perhaps a bit formal. My pleasure adds a touch of warmth. It was my pleasure to help is even more emphatic, I think.
And what about situations where you've gone above and beyond?
Then I was happy to help, or don't mention it, work well. They convey a sense of genuine willingness to assist.
So context is key when choosing the right phrase. Makes sense. Now let's move on to agreeing. Beyond bet and that's great, what are some more nuanced ways to show agreement?
I couldn't agree more is strong and emphatic. Absolutely is concise and confident. That's a great point, acknowledges the other person's contribution.
What about when you agree but want to add your own perspective?
I agree, and I'd also like to add vi, or that's a good point, but I also think are excellent choices. They keep the conversation floating, right?
These phrases show engagement and encourage further discussion. Good point. Disagreeing politely is a skill many struggle with. How can we do it effectively without sounding rude?
Instead of a blunt, I disagree, try, I understand your point, but, or, I see where you're coming from, however. These phrases show you've listened? Absolutely.
And what if you want to offer an alternative perspective?
That's one way to look at it, but I think, or I get your point, but have you considered? Flot are great options. They invite further thought.
These phrases are all about respectful communication. I agree. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, we can't reach an agreement. How do we handle that gracefully?
We'll have to agree to disagree is a perfectly acceptable way to end a discussion respectfully. It acknowledges the difference in opinion without prolonging conflict.
It's about accepting that not everyone will share the same viewpoint. Yeah, that's true.
Precisely. It's about maintaining a positive and respectful interaction, even when opinions differ.
A valuable lesson in communication. Let's apply these phrases to some hypothetical scenarios. Imagine someone suggests a weekend trip. How would you respond if you agree?
I might say, that sounds fantastic, I'm completely on board, or I couldn't agree more, that's a great idea.
And what if you disagree?
I could say, I appreciate the suggestion, but I'm already committed that weekend, or that sounds fun, but I'm not sure I can make it.
These responses are both polite and clear. Good examples. Let's try another scenario. Someone says, this project is too complex. How would you respond if you agree?
I might say, I agree, it's quite challenging, or I couldn't agree more, it's definitely a complex undertaking.
And if you disagree?
I could say, I understand your concern, but I think with a structured approach, we can manage it, or I see your point, but I believe we have the resources to handle it.
Again, these responses are respectful and constructive. Very helpful. Let's review the key phrases we've discussed. For saying thanks, we have, you're very welcome, my pleasure, and I was happy to help.
For agreeing, we have, I couldn't agree more, absolutely, and that's a great point. And for adding to an agreement, I agree, and I'd also like to add,
for disagreeing politely, we have, I understand your point, but I see where you're coming from, however, and I get your point, but have you considered, eh?
And finally, for agreeing to disagree, we'll have to agree to disagree.
The more you practice these phrases, the more natural they'll become. Definitely. It's not just about the phrases themselves, but also about your tone and body language.
Absolutely. A sincere tone and open body language can make a huge difference in how your words are received.
Active listening is also crucial. Showing that you're genuinely engaged in the conversation makes a positive impact.
It's about creating a respectful and collaborative environment even when opinions differ. So true.
Communication is a two-way street. It's important to remember that cultural nuances can influence how these phrases are perceived.
True. What's considered polite in one culture might not be in another. Being mindful of cultural differences is essential.
Researching the cultural context can help you navigate conversations more effectively.
And always be open to learning and adapting your communication style.
Flexibility is key in effective communication. Great point. That was a great discussion. Thank you for sharing your expertise on polite conversation. It was my pleasure.